Hi, welcome to week 44. And today I paused. Now, I don't know if there's control going on, if we're on the chessboard, or if this is actually just legit 100%. But I was prompted to go out by Spirit, be part of it. And this is just one of the highlights, one of the more exciting clips. This is exactly outside my block away from my door. And like a couple of hours at least. A couple of hours. It was just, I think I was out for at least half an hour until my fingers were frozen. I think it's, I'm not entirely sure. I've got stills from a lot of it, except the first parts. So I'll just show the highlights of the stills. Let's see here. There's a restaurant called Monstrosity Burger. And I know after I went and liked your page and everything, and then I found out they're doing the sovereign citizen thing, which makes them a version of Freemasons. I imagine B'nai B'rith, which is also Masonic, which B'nai B'rith will deny that they'll just say that they modeled themselves after Masonry, but no. So, the same. This one's grading. I think that might be. So, those are just a handful. And what I love, this guy, I've even got him. I was waving at everybody. And he's even waving back. You can't get the shot clear enough, but he is. So that's how today went. In Leo, the house of what I have figured out is, we're talking about the house of gaming. We just had Microsoft acquire Activision / Blizzard. I already had this coming through in my experiences this month, and I believe the whole reincarnation shit show, because of Magha Nakshatra telling us that this is where our ties to our ancestors are, the ties that bind, and the money karma with particularly fathers. But what's interesting is the money issues with the father, that part of that nakshatra is directly across the chart from worshipping the mother. And that's no accident, right? So let's just say parental conflicts with money, with your money, with power struggles, with the ancestral struggles, all of that stuff. So I was like, how much does this have to do? And then I was having a conversation. I ended up in a conversation with my dad about reincarnation concerning one of his friends who's in his 80s now. The doctor, the surgeon, the retired surgeon that I've talked about in previous episodes, weeks, who's tied to my experiences. But people that have recurring dreams, like identical dreams, yes, repeat. But people that have energy that they come across as if they're dulled. Their senses are dulled. Like there could be trauma from repeat lifetimes and just succumbing to the matrix too much. Yes. Others of us that I encounter, you know, the strength is so fresh and so powerful, and we know exactly what we're here for, or pretty close. Anyway, all of that. This is all turning out to be 5th house, which is not entirely what I expected. But I feel I'm anticipating, what has happened is the necessary change did come. And what we're getting into, this week is all about 5th house and Leo in your birth chart. For me, the necessary change came with developing out of my emotional ties that bind to my story so that I can separate and get, shall we say, what we've been calling through the Aboriginal Spirit Oracle from Mel Brown, when she gets into compassion, separate from sympathy and empathy, where you're not at emotional risk, right? Like the change that came for me, and I noted it, I still have to write it in a journal as far as the day that came, but the change that came for me, and I'm assuming will come in this process, is that you get enough of your story together by this month, and enough of the karmas and the perspective and everything, and you've worked through so much root work and so much healing that you can get the perspective and get the distance, but also get the power of stepping into the professional, no quotation marks, the professional energy, the control, the I'm okay, I can do this now, and everything doesn't have to be trying to justify or explain, because I've done it all. I've got 10 months of evidence, right? But not only 10 months of evidence, the work has been done inside of me. The process is completing, and there's the release. So once we hit Aries next week, I feel like we're going to be pushing really strong. That's what I feel. We've been pushing, like this has been, wait till you see what I created for this. But one other Leo, this strength card, I think we have a very interesting gender, karmic, like story of the universe, the great architect, what he hates about women. We have a lot of that tied up in this card, because you have so many cultures where I found out even Kali rides a lion. Now, has she always ridden a lion? She's riding a lion. I'll get it. Okay, let's pay it bright for a moment here. Here she is, Durga. Okay, as Durga. Durga gives birth to Kali, yes, as the story goes. But if we're talking about, well, no, I know Kali as a person, not just an energy. Like when she came to me very much as a person, and she communicates to me very much as a person. And I found, thanks to Alana Fairchild's Kali deck, I found exactly the Kali that the form of Kali who visited me, that I hadn't found in my research yet. But here she is riding a lion. Now, when did this happen? Did this happen because Ishtar rides a lion? Did Ishtar ride a lion because Kali rides a lion? But she has all these gifts given to her by male divinities and male people. Yes? What's that about? And here she is. She's taming the masculine energy. She's got it under control, right? Just like... Now, juxtapose that, balance that against... Do you want to be riding a lion? What happened to being the lion? Right? What happened to being the lion? I'm just trying to get... Right? This female... It's the female that goes out and does this shit, for God's sake. Where's that Gobedra? Yeah, this lioness of Gobedra in Axum, which is northern Ethiopia. Yes, female. Be the lion or tame the lion. It's like, no. What do we want to settle for here? Would Kali just be... Is that what Kali's all about? So do we... This is where... Yeah, Sekhmet. Now, even Sekhmet has a masculine, her father Ra, bringing her in to do the dirty work for him because he wants to destroy humanity because he's, done with it, right? We've heard that one before. But instead of doing it himself, he creates her, and then when she fulfills her duties and, stays true to her nature, then he fucking drugs her so that she'll fall asleep and stop killing and everything like that. Like, he puts the blame, like, it's like, yeah, it's her problem. It's like, no, you created her to do that. Or did you really? Like, psychologically, what are we doing to ourselves with this? Like, right? Okay, so tremendously similar energy to Kali. It's like blaming somebody for being brave and then pinning all the negatives on the female again. So I'm not even totally satisfied, as much as it's excellent to start fixing the lies around Egyptian history and making it Commission history, right, properly, and it's Africa's history, it's Black people's history. At the same time, philosophically, I'm still going to go back to the Orisha first. I'm going to go back to Mami Wata. I'm going to dig past the esoteric of Kemet, because you've got the Tree of Life there. You still have these things that there's math to it, absolutely. They're mathematical principles. But some of this, it's just, no, I don't need a Ra creating Sekhmet to do the dirty work and then blaming her for it. But we are further ahead for Sekhmet being the lion rather than just riding the lion or taming the lion. She still is given, she is the lion energy herself. So I feel like there is something that we are absorbing. And again, I grew up with this, and this is considered C.S. Lewis, Jack, as he liked to be called. Totally not a feminist, and although there is, I should go get his other book, Till We Have Faces, but no, I mean, Susan gets knocked out of Narnia, in the true Narnia, right, because she's too female. Well, his idea of what female is, but this is definitely the strength card, of course, and I grew up with this, and this is Christian, he's the Lion of Judah, okay? But Jack, C.S., had an Irish, well, he was born in Belfast, raised in Belfast. He had a Southern Irish nanny who taught him all the lore. But anyway, so enough of, well, not enough of that. It's important because we're talking about experiencing, like, what you need to tap into really in your Leo experience, in your 5th house experience. What are we really dealing with? And so, yeah. I've got the tarot cards out for different reasons, like all to do with the placements, yes. But I found that the tarot cards are perhaps not clear enough visually, so I did a whole new other chart, and I did the tarot zodiac as well. But let's just take a moment, see where we're at. Sun in, well, we've got this spreading out a bit here, this Mercury doing Mercury's thing. Venus, Mars, definitely well into Sagittarius now. So we got to check we'll do that next week. Check our calendar and see what's what. But mostly this, I think, now look at the gap between Saturn and, like, they were getting close, right? What with Mercury being retrograde, so they're going to come together again. Sun, of course, is only going to get closer again. Things are getting tight, and this is the energy that they're not going to report correctly with on the other channels, except for Eat, Read, Love. I don't know how many other, I haven't found any others yet that still do Sidereal, so I've even, when are they going to, well, they know these apps. They know it. Anyway, so the brave leap thing that's going to happen, right? Saturn being, well, your triggers and your instincts, your mind and imagination with Mercury, and your fears, boundaries, and calculated risks. So this is a quantum leap of energy as far as I'm concerned. And all towards Jupiter, chasing Jupiter down. Awesome. With Venus Now Mars coming up behind. Venus doing deep retro healing, like you thought it was over and it's not over. That's my take on that. All right. So, birth chart. As I'm clearing up, I pulled out the cards that match my that correlate with my 7 of Wands when I do my chart work, right? With my 6 of Wands, with my 5 of Wands, okay? So that's all, and I'm gonna give you the visual for that. I also, watch me drop cards into one of these candles, but the strength, my Leo placement, my 5th house placement, my Knight of Wands placements, okay, with planets and houses and everything. So I've done multiple versions. Pardon. Oh, edit. Okay, multiple versions. Let me get these out of the camera without actually putting my arm in front of the camera. Nice. Why do I don't know why, but I do. Okay. Nothing will go wrong. Nothing will go into flames. No, not at all. And then for here, how is it different? It's more to do with the houses. Okay. Let's get into it. I don't even feel like I should sit down. I feel like I'm probably just staying close to the camera for this one. Yeah, okay. Major for me, Audrey Hepburn's anniversary, 29 years. That's the day I started drawing again after 13 years of silence. My dad's birthday following that. Where are we now? We are... Wait a minute. Mars direct in Sagittarius. That's right. Why did I have it marked as it happened back over there? Because the midpoint. Alright, I'm going to have to go. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Let's see here. What is today? 24th. Okay, so today is the day, 1 week after that full moon in Cancer, that the truckers came through. Okay. So it takes a week for the moon. No, to reach Winnipeg. No. Next. Yes, further to my point about that number 5, absolutely. That change of arriving at, and it couldn't just happen suddenly. It happened because of all the preparation. Like all of this worked its way towards this change. If we hadn't done all of this, then the groundwork wouldn't be laid for not only that, but the punishments and the like the severe attack on the 21st. Absolutely. Then an amazing day with my Capricorn client the day after that. But finishing up, yes, absolutely finishing projects, but there was an overlap of starting one as well, because then I got into the Tarot Zodiac, which I was not expecting to do. I woke up one morning and I was like, oh, okay, I got to do that. That's what we're doing. Okay, well that's, okay, no, we got to do it. And that's getting ready to do, I don't know if I'll be doing it this year, but I guess I will be doing it this year. The tarot version of this experience in April, which we only sort of dip into a bit through the astrological experience. But also one of my clients, I'd been away from her for a month for various reasons. One of the most recent being me being completely worn down by work. Got there and she had changed so much in that month, and she's ready. She and one of her home care workers, her number one home care worker, ended up being there while I was there cleaning, and we had this, it's just all of a sudden we're putting it in motion to get her ready. I just helped her move into this apartment from her house a couple of years ago, and now we're getting ready. We're going to put her on the waiting list and get her into a home. And I just felt absolutely that, you know, in my Scorpio way, and I've been through this before with my grandmother, and I've been through it with my mother, and various other people as well, but you just know that the person is shifting their energy, preparing to leave. And And then she has the cat, and it's her granddaughter, Mallory, who died strangled in a closet. They call it suicide. I don't actually necessarily believe that it was. Because normally the people that come to me tend to be murder victims. Spiritually, they come to me. Yes, I don't murder people. But, so it's her cat. It's Mallory's cat that's been living with her. And so I was like, okay, Mallory, what are we going to do for your cat? Am I hiding your cat in my apartment? Like, and then, no, I talked it up, and then my client talked to her, to the home care nurse, who has 3 cats and a cat run, and said, absolutely, of course, you know, I'll take Vinny. And so we had all of that taken. I was like, just, you know, so that all happens. Another couple of other beginnings. So this is, I'm going to make a note here where there's the overlap of the ending and the beginning. And just very much on point. But so it's like this part is slightly incomplete. So expect, yes, completion. I'm almost done the website. I'm about halfway done. I'm pushing. So yes, and I kept this page out because we need to add Kali to this page. And then, obviously, this is where, now, see, I didn't even get through totally finishing this page, okay? I started the usual, and I'm getting into the Nakshatras as well. And I was like, okay, what I need to do, and I'm going to have to probably modify these questions so that there's, there's more directive to it. Well, and of course I created this without thinking that I was going to be using the nakshatra. And again, those are the lunar mansions. 27 of them. So what I needed to do was I ended up redoing my chart as well with new settings, because then I discovered something. Okay, so I have this sheet out. We go to vidyamitra.com. Where do I have that website that I can reference for you? Here we go. Here's a printout. Okay. This is the best place, except for Scorpio. There's work to be done in solving Scorpio. People don't have the answers for Scorpio, and I know why, but I'll get into that another time. I had to figure it out, because my kid has his Pluto, his professional guides, in Scorpio. He's got 4 planets in Scorpio, in Scorpius. But anyway, vidyamitra.com, okay? The place to go. I mean, you want to check with several, but so what I do, right? I go down here to Leo. And I've redone this chart as well to be accurate. But I check, we have Magha Nakshatra, Purva Phalguni Nakshatra, and Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, right? And so we've got the mansion for Magha, the symbol. We've got the stage, the platform for Purva Phalguni, and we have a couch. We have a bed for Purva as well, and we have a couch as a symbol for Uttara Phalguni. A lot of Ganesha energy tied to this, because somebody's honored Shiva in the bull. That tied to Ganesha. I gotta remember. I made a note, but the themes. These are my notes from Vidyamitra. Porn industry over here, adult erotica, shall we say? Definitely. Oh, I gotta go get that. I'm not gonna show you all the photos of me. But it is a thing I love. I'm very happy, but I have to have somebody to send it to who means a lot to me. Or I do it for art. Absolutely, for my own illustrations, and if it needs to be done for a picture, no, absolutely. No problem there. Writing, music, dance, yoga, transformers, lawyer energy here, astrology, brilliant writing for Uttara Phalguni. Documentary energy more than fiction energy. This is all thanks to Vidya Mitra, whoever is writing that. I gotta get their name. But then we have the female rat. We have a bull associated with Uttara, but we have the female rat associated with Purva, and we have the male rat associated with Magha. Magha is where you have all the ancestral baggage, and you have all this sex energy too, because that's how you have ancestors. But what I would say to that is, this is where I did the analysis and was like, wait a minute, no. It's the whole theme of being shoved back into the game. My dad plays Far Cry. My kid's a major gamer. He does gaming videos and all that stuff, right? It's my dad who's been working his way personal development through playing Far Cry games, especially for anger management and stuff like that. But it's completely Masonic, right? And so he's figured out a lot by sticking to that and developed a lot of self-discipline through that. And of course, the whole idea of any game where you have to regenerate, you have to come back in, yeah? So that's why I was like, yeah, no, it's not even just the sex, it's the actual being caught. Now, how many of us are coming back in? And do we want to? How do we get out, right? Again, mastering the 6 impulses is tied to, now that we have to figure out what the 6 impulses are, especially creativity and death. There's a throne room associated with Magha and a throne, but sex and divinity, yes, like there's this bigger picture to sex in Purva Phalguni, and we've got the fiction energy here. But mastering 6 impulses, so for me, it's like I've got 6 businesses, right? And so I've got to find out what the other 4 impulses are. Now, what I do with that information when it comes to those pages of the birth chart is then I go over to where my 5th houses are, right? And my whole house is over here in, breathing into the handle of my tripod, in Purva Bhadrapada, in Uttara Bhadrapada. So I've got the Purva and the Uttara repeating. There are 3 of those around the chart. And Revati. Okay, that's my 5th house in the whole system. Okay. And then in the uneven house, so for me, Regiomontanus, Ibn Ezra, same thing. Regiomontanus never called his own system Regiomontanus, he called it Ibn Ezra, because Ibn Ezra came up with it, but, or gets the credit for it, for translating it, from the Arabic, possibly. But, so then I have Kritika and Bharani Nakshatras. Now, what does it mean? So I go back, and then I came up with even just brief, like Leo rules the first pada of Uttara Bhadrapada. Here's where we have worshipping the mum in the last pada of Purva Bhadrapada. Okay. Information overload in the second. Like this is me cherry picking based on my experiences, right? Like what speaks to me from their descriptions for these nakshatra, right? Yes, okay, so that's what hits me hard about each one. So for you, it'll be other things wherever your 5th houses are placed, right? There's guru energy, publishing. I'm back in Purva. So, sorry, forward into 5th house, okay. Music experts, okay. So I had a lot of, my whole childhood was music. Now my south node is here, so everything that I'm coming from, yes. How do these things combine? So I do that for all of these, right? That's what you want to do. And then I just started making notes, okay. It's just not even fancy. And you just start combining. What does it mean to mix Uttara Ashada with Uttara Bhadrapada, with Purva Bhadrapada, with Shravana, with Dhanishta, Okay, now why am I moving backwards? Because that's into my 10th. Because I've got 10th in my Leo, right? And I just start combining, like, in order to come up with looking back at the right life events and make sense, yes? Now, the thing that was driving me nuts was I knew, there we go, okay, this is what I made, that I didn't expect to be making anytime soon, but here we are. Why not? Get ready for the next round. We are leveling up. I'm hoping this is my final phase of how to set a birth chart, okay? Am I able to give them credit anywhere on this page? No. Okay, AstroSeek.com, okay? I gotta get that. You can add nakshatra. Right, so I did. Now, to set it, I was like, now hang on. Everything changes. What I finally did was I fixed the uneven houses, the uneven constellations. I fixed the zodiac so that it's truly uneven, okay? It's accurate. And I was like, what do you set it to? Because everything is a constellation. The options are typically constellations. I want a star. And of course, Egypt, everybody, well, Egypt in particular, probably others as well, they used Aldebaran. They set everything, like Taurus used to be the first house. The Giza pyramids line up with Taurus. So the year starts with, even up in France in the Lascaux caves, right? Remember the Taurus, the bull, the sun lines up. So they use, let's use Aldebaran because it's a single star. Right, and we got to go a circle, do a circle around, yeah? And when are we going to hit? It's a fixed star, right? But it's not just a constellation. So the other settings you can go to, other than Aldebaran, you can go Cancer, 0 degrees, you can go Chitra, 0 degrees, you can go Cancer, 16 degrees. But it's like, no, I don't want the degrees of a constellation because that's problematic. Okay, it doesn't have to be, we're talking degrees, but no, give me the star. So I set it to Aldebaran. It shifts things a bit, yes. I played with Chitra. I tried Chitra, I tried the Cancer, I tried, is it Revati is the other? No, probably not. But anyway, things were off too much. I was like, no, I know I'm not a Sagittarius rising. I know I'm not. And so, but again, where do people decide to stop and start a constellation? So it's like, in order to fix my own charts enough, let's go with Aldebaran, and it matched enough. I'm a 29 degree, I'd like to be a 27 degree Scorpius, but who knows what 29 means truly anyway. And so I end up being this 29 degree Scorpius. I've been it before. So really I would count Scorpius as my first house in whole, yes, in the whole house system, okay. My moon shifted into being just into Pisces. It's been there before, so I still kind of am tempted to identify as an Aquarius moon sometimes, but I can feel that 8 of Cups. So everything shifted a wee bit that I had to keep track of in my and I actually switched from, this is telling me because you see, even this isn't going to be accurate. Yes, this isn't going to be accurate because these are still even, okay? So even this isn't enough, okay? This is accurate. They were very smart with the nakshatras because they divide the sky evenly into, not give constellations that aren't equal. Don't give them equal pieces of the pie, right? But you can divide the sky equally into 27 sections. Yes, no problem. Sorry for not being sharp focused there, right? But you can't apply the same. You can't apply. No, this is completely theoretical. It's not even theoretical. It's just inaccurate. Okay. So, and then I got my dad's chart and my son's chart as well, based on those settings. So I think hopefully that stays the setting that I recommend. So here's another way of showing it. This is for me. I was like happy tears how beautiful this is, okay? Now what I've done, Aries, the Fool card, right? Okay. I've penciled in for now. I'll ink them in. That's my own chart. Let me show you just a general chart. Okay. And again, I've only penciled in the nakshatras because I ran out of time. Well, I've inked in the lines, but I penciled in the names. Okay. Let's just take a tour. So here we have Aries. Okay. With the Page of Wands. Now I put a little line in for the Ace of Wands, okay? There's that day, that Ace of Wands opportunity, right? Now I started mid-April, the Larry Eli. Here's where, I didn't start it with Aldebaran because I can't place Aldebaran in the information well enough, okay? But let's just say April 15th, the Larry Eli Ayanamsa, you know, the sun hits, for now, it hits Aries. Yeah, okay. Kristen weakened. I weakened. I'm sticking with April 15th, okay? But, now, as we were going through these months, I kept track of the sun's, what was the ingress from sign to sign based on the midpoint between constellations, right? So once it hit right in between what I felt were the energies, then I considered it to have moved into the next constellation, right? And I kept track on the calendars, okay? So you see how Aries is much smaller than Taurus. Gemini is smaller again, right? And we know how I've changed this to being the 2, 3, 4, the ace. Yes, there's the ace. Can't fit it in with words, but 2, 3, 4 of Pentacles, okay? So you have the Hierophant and the Page of Pentacles. You have the Fool, and you have the Page of Wands. You have the Lovers, the Page of Swords, right? Again, smaller constellation. Cancer, smaller constellation. As far as I remember, yeah, it does hit earlier in August. I'm going to double check, triple, quadruple check to see if I need to fix that again. But we hit the 5, 6, 7 of Wands for Leo, right? So Strength card, Knight of Wands. Now, here's where, I mean, look at it. That's just how it is. That's how it is for Virgo. That's how big Virgo is, right? It goes from mid-September. The sun's in it till November 1st. So 1, 2, 3, 4 nakshatra, right? There's no point in saying that you're in Libra energy. So look, Chitra goes from being split, like they consider Chitra to be split between Libra energy and Virgo energy, and it's not. It's completely, because they're using the equal system for the constellation, the Western constellations. And it's like, no, why are we hanging on to that? It's not giving anybody a true sense of who they really are. If you're Libra, we're coming in Svati, okay, November. Here's how long the sun is in Libra for compared to Virgo. Here's how long it is in Scorpius, right? Sagittarius, a bit longer, but not nearly as long as Virgo because it runs the whole length of Virgo's body. Okay? Then Capricornus, and Aquarius, and Pisces. Right? That is just so exciting to me. So that's a general. And then what I did, oh, and here's how I build one. Right? I just do it in Word. Now you get the center of the page, and I create a circle, and I use circles to help me create. It's the same circle, and to make sure that it's equal, right? I pivot it, right, to see that it fills, you know, and then I use the other lines around it to set them to see if it's, when it pivots, if it's the same width, right? And then I just copy that, and I create a center point that I then remove afterwards, right? But I can center the circles on over there, right? And then I can do my 12. Well, yeah, anyway. And that's how I set this up. And I do the same when I do the nakshatra outside. Right? Then I set circles. I do the same thing with the circle. Trial and error all the way around. So I put 27 circles around the outside. Same circle, copy paste, right? It took about 5 tries to get the right, because I didn't feel like trying to just measure it all out. I can do that too, but so here's how many times you print out and fail, right? And the thing that's funny is at one point of all of these, yes, okay, so no problem. Hermit for Virgo, yes, okay, and Hermit for Virgo, Hermit for Virgo, Hermit for Virgo, and then I was like, well, can't keep this print because the machine decided itself, the program decided itself to switch it to the Lovers. Okay. Back to Hermit. So what's the message there, right? Okay. But yeah, so this is in essence, this is exactly what I do with the cards. Now, because I switched things up with the setting everything to Aldebaran, right? My moon, like everything moved, but I take the moon card, I make a little wedge, right? There's my moon. There is, I use the Ten of Swords for the South Node. Okay. Thank you, Susan Shepherd. There's the Magician for my Mercury. And you just draw this in. I use the Chiron, right? Now, I forgot to shift my Chiron. That needs to be, I went and fixed that, but it's not in time for this print. But I use the Hierophant card for the Chiron. Here's my sun. Look how pretty this is. Look at my sun, how it borders. You see things in a different way. It borders my 5th house with Venus, right? And then what I did in what's faint, right, is I've got Strength card in a transparency back there, the Hermit in transparency, and there we go, Justice, right? Because I have those, this is my whole house system, this is my uneven house system, right? So they're overlapping with the 4 of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, right? And this is where it's, and then so I'm right in between Sun and Venus. That seems like extremely strong positive energy there, right? It's just so pretty. Sorry. But yeah, no, so this is how and I divided it. I like putting the queens first because I just do. We don't have to. You can put the kings first, whichever energy. It's not that one energy comes before the other. It's just you're going to have them. You could have them overlapping as transparencies. You could do that if you wanted to. But but I take it as, so my moon and my south node now, and then my Mercury, I could decide whether it feels, I don't know. But anyway, I highlighted my Capricorn because down in my 5th, I've got the devil. I just really feel like I'm fighting the devil. I know I'm fighting the devil all the time. The devil being the great architect. And so that's why I highlighted what was up in Capricorn. I've got the Lovers up there. And the Fool. Barely a little bit of the Fool, 1st house and 2nd house with the Hierophant, right? And that would be, see here is whole house. So whole house on the outside and uneven house on the inside. So all of these energies combine, yes. So the story of how it affects you, because then, see, I've got, but again, we've got to do, a thing that's really strong is this Punarvasu. There's this exile thing of 10 to 14 years that a person can go on. Okay, and my black moon hits there. So I use Lilith. I'm actually abandoning the name Lilith. I like black moon better. Lilith is a mind control name. Okay, it's got a lot of, it's a very loaded name that it comes from the people that started the smear campaign, not the actual person, that the people that were smeared. Okay, so then I've got my Jupiter, right? So I've got High Priestess, yes, Emperor Mars here. Now Saturn, the world, I've got right next to where my 10th house is, right? So I've got this portal, yes, right next to where my Capricorn energy is. Ten of Cups, North Node, Judgment, Pluto, Uranus with the Tower for me, and my Hangman, Neptune. Okay, so you layer it, you just get a feel for, well, what does it mean? Now, if we've got that, do you want to be the lion or tame the lion? It's like, I want to be the lion. But we've got to figure that out, right? So I feel like there's crap there. I feel like there's a ton of ancestral crap. Well, you know what? No, I'm not going to say. I'm saying the ancestors are caught in the same game. Okay, we didn't set this net. We didn't build the net. We didn't do this. It's been done to us. So when our ancestors are helping us, I think if they're any help to us, they're trying to help us not only get out permanently, but to help everybody else get out permanently in whichever ways are specific to your abilities and interests and everything, right? Like who you are outside of this whole shit show, right? But instead of showing you with the cards, this is what I mean when I'm showing you with the cards. Yes, this is actually how it is. That's how I'm intending it to. So I feel like this is, and I would highlight different parts, obviously, right, for different houses, but this is how my 5th house and my Leo, and I put in the aspects, right? I put all the planets in because I see my sun ruling the ruler of Leo, yes, it's in opposition, right, to my Uranus. Okay, so those affect each other. They have to succeed together. Okay, now the fact that it is bordering my 5th house, this is how the 5th house plays out in your life through the uneven house, and this is how it sits in your mind in the whole house. Okay, so the fact that it is bordered by my Venus and my Sun, okay, I'm able to visualize that now, and it has that Ace of Pentacles right in it. Okay, obviously an emphasis there. Now what else is opposing or what's aspecting? Yes, but definitely an interesting relationship there. Okay, and not that far from my Chiron. And I mean, look at my other 5th house, right? Now I've got my Pluto opposing my Mercury. So I need to pay attention to that because my Mercury and my Pluto need to succeed together. This portal, not to mention, if we get back into my other chart where we have the gaps here, yes, between 8th house, the 7th house overlap and the 2nd house. Does that make sense? No, the 8th house overlap. God, it's the 7th house overlap, 8th house gap, right? If I show you on the other chart, the older chart, but there are reasons why, but I feel like I'm just going to overwhelm. If there's anything that comes back to mind, then I'll bring it up next week. But Neptune cycles came through strong because of down in Punarvasu, this exile story plays out. And I actually was able to map out age 0 to 14, age 14 to age 28, am I right there? And age 28 to wherever the heck I am now. So 1992, and then 2006, and then 2020. Absolutely 3 exiles, which makes sense for my 33. Okay. But then that's helping me figure out what my ancestral crap, like, not like I don't already know, but it's helping me get very, very specific. There's still more I need to understand. I don't feel I have it all yet, but for what we've accomplished in the year, and we've only have 2 more houses to go, And I feel it's very forward moving energy in those houses. So I feel like we're really tying up the past the best we can for now, for this year. And again, just like my client is getting ready to switch worlds. And we knew it was coming, but so anyway, yes, there's this, here we are in this 10th month. So next week, absolutely, who's helping us in this house and where we're going with it. But in the meantime, by then, I should be finished my beginning of drawing website. Thank fuck. Okay. Much love. I believe that's it. Oh my god, no it's not. Okay, I'll make this quick. No, you know what I'll do? I'll get into it next week. I got into mansion energy. Yeah, I can do all of this. This can, good. I'll just pay it forward. Nice. Great. Okay, so I just worked ahead without realizing I was working ahead. Beautiful. Okay, so this is work I did to connect dots between my life and the nakshatras and how they all work together. Lovely, beautiful, excellent. Okay. Okay. Week 45 next.